I grew up around sign language. My best friend's grandparents are deaf, so I was always seeing him and his mom communicate, but not in a way in which they use their voices. Instead, they use their hands. When I was little, I would pick up signs here and there, and they've stuck with me throughout the years. This has been very beneficial to me as I've decided to start learning sign language as an adult. I'm currently self-taught with the help of my best friend and his family. But when I first enrolled at SkyCTC, I found that we have full immersion ASL courses that we can take on campus. I'm going to ask that you all join me in enrolling in these courses to learn this expressive and inclusive language. To better understand why we should learn sign language, we first need to understand what the language is and what can cause deafness or hearing loss. We also need to know the benefits of learning the language and the resources that we can use to start learning it. A variation of sign language has existed since the beginning of time. Many people are credited with creating the language. However, according to startasl.com, there is no one creator of the language. A man named Gallaudet is usually credited with creating American Sign Language. However, it was a combination of French Sign Language and homemade signs that was the start of American Sign Language that we know today. Nearly all countries have their own sign language, but some may share signs that mean the same word or have similar hand shape. The Chicago Tribune states that ASL is a unique language with its own unique background. ASL has its own grammar and relies heavily on facial expressions. ASL is also a very visual language that requires both the speaker and the listener to focus. As you can see here, ASL is considered a language with which we speak with our hands, and these are called signs. There are various degrees of hearing loss, or even complete hearing loss, and they can occur at any point in your life. So knowing sign language beforehand can be a major advantage for you. According to the Sign Language Company, there is a strong connection between age and hearing loss. 18% of people are aged 45 to 64, 30% are 65 to 74, and 47% are 75 or older. In 2014, 28% of people with hearing loss claimed that it was due to their age. Now, according to this chart from the Sign Language Company, 4.4% of people were born with hearing loss. The majority of people have lost their hearing for many other reasons, though. This includes prolonged exposure to loud noises, such as working in factories, or infection or injuries. Some even lose their hearing completely and suddenly without cause. This is referred to as sudden deafness. In the U.S., there are 4,000 cases of sudden deafness every year. By knowing the language beforehand, you can possibly avoid language isolation and make this difficult transition just a little bit easier on yourself. There are many benefits to learning sign language, so many that I couldn't possibly list them all. My best friend's mom is a CODA, that is, a child of a deaf adult. And she says that anyone can benefit from learning sign language, whether it's for a job or for personal reasons. Sign language can be used at home, in public, or in the workplace. According to Lead with Languages, learning ASL can open many new doors for you. It can put you on a new career path, such as interpreting. Sign language also allows learning or hearing people to enter a deaf person's world and speak their language. By learning their language, you're also allowing people in the community to be included in everyday chats with your hearing friends. It's important that we include the deaf community. By bridging the gap between the hearing and deaf communities, we're creating the first step to a better world in which everyone has equal access to conversation. There are also many resources available to those wanting to learn sign language. All you have to do is look. There are YouTube pages that are dedicated entirely to helping hearing people, those with hearing loss, or those with sudden deafness learn the language. There are also books, both children's and adult books, available to help you learn the language. Smartphones have apps that allow you to learn the language. Some are free and some cost money, but they're all useful. You can also check out local libraries. Many libraries will have ASL courses available to those in the public. For example, the Bob Kirby Library has ASL courses for children once or twice every month. But the best way for you to learn the language is to be involved in the deaf community. Be included with your deaf friends, and you learn from native speakers. I hope now that you see the importance of knowing sign language. You know what the language is and how deafness or hearing loss can occur. You know the benefits of learning the language, and you know how you can find resources to help you learn. Now that you know how important ASL is, let's do something to make that change. While learning a new language can be stressful and can take time, it's worth it in the end. Being able to include your deaf friends, your deaf family members, or even new people that you meet is being able to include them and not leave them out of conversations. This will help you experience a new kind of joy you may not have even known you could experience. So please, let's join together in enrolling in these classes to include the deaf community and join them in their world.